There's been a huge surge of high schoolers using e-cigarettes or vaping.
More and more young people are vaping. Many are even juuling.
Is vaping among teenagers creating a whole new generation of nicotine addicts?
As far as high school fads, which often come and go, this one seems to be sticking, and there's a lot of concern about it. It's a trend that many parents are not even aware of. But e-cigarette use, or vaping, has grown an astonishing 900% among high school students in recent years.
I think e-cigarettes definitely have become more popular.
No one really knew what e-cigarettes were before a couple years ago. They just boomed in high schools.
I didn't know e-cigarettes existed freshman year, so they've definitely grown in popularity.
This year was the year that most people used e-cigarettes.
Definitely more popular than it was 2 or 3 years ago.
It's a fad. What was it, fidget spinners last year? Then it was bottle flipping, slime, vaping. I'm hoping it's a fad that'll just go away.
Electronic cigarettes were first created probably right around 2000. It's nicotine that is dissolved in a glycerol base, and so you have a battery that's attached, and you get, instead of rather burning something like you do with a cigarette, where you have tobacco that has to burn and it's combustible, with an e-cigarette you will get a vapor, because a battery will kind of spark the glycerol, which will create a, sort of a gas almost.
The most common chemicals that are in the Juul, well, first of all, nicotine, obviously. It's a very addictive substance.
In terms of its effect on the body, it affects everything. There are nicotine receptors in basically every system in the whole body. And so it's why when people use nicotine, they feel the stimulation of it, and people will get more energy, they'll feel better, and that's actually the hook. And when your body is out of nicotine or coming down from the nicotine, it wants more.
But the thing with nicotine is that it's very short-lived, so it doesn't have these effects for very long, and it leaves the body craving nicotine. Once it goes away, the dopamine levels go down, and you have withdrawal effects. You have anxiety, you have poor mood, you have problems concentrating, you have irritability.
For some, I think that it may have started as a social habit.
And it's just the cool thing to do. It's the new cigarette.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s, when there was a targeted campaign for cigarettes, it was, oh, it's a cool thing to do. I see that with this new generation, the same type of thing happening with vaping and juuling. I see advertisers targeting kids. The fact that it's flavored, that's marketed to teens right there.
There's 15,500 different flavors of e-cigarettes on the market. They have flavors that go from mermaid tears to unicorn poop,
Katy Perry cherry, unicorn vomit,
like strawberries,
bubblegum flavors, fruit flavors, strawberry, blueberry, you name it, that's targeted towards teens.
With the vaping, again, it's not as harsh, then there's candied flavors added to it, and so it seems harmless. It seems like water vapor, and that's what you'll hear from young people, and many do not realize what's actually in the devices.
My name is Mike. I smoked for 30 years. Recently quit, tried vaping, and then I found my lungs were getting better. It was cheaper, and it wasn't as nasty.
E-cigarettes are less harmful than combustible cigarettes for long-term users who are trying to quit.
And so the idea was trying to figure out ways of getting people off of cigarettes. So when they were created, they were actually a really good idea of nicotine replacement therapy, and they thought that by giving them something to smoke, or a vapor to use, that it would be better at getting people to help quit.
But then when we think about young people, we've been seeing these steady declines in combustible tobacco use among young people, and then now we're seeing these rapid increases with e-cigarettes among young people. So we're actually seeing more nicotine exposure to the brains of young people.
I think there definitely are people who use them the right way, but there's definitely people who don't, like middle schoolers and high schoolers, who can overuse them.
More people than I can count own an e-cigarette.
I probably know around 50 people.
20 people, 20 or 25 people that use e-cigarettes.
I don't think kids are really realizing that they're becoming addicted, or they're just living in denial about it.
What they say is they'd be like, oh, I can easily quit.
Some teens at least realize that they're addicted and don't care.
I don't think anyone who's addicted at this age knows they're addicted.
I do not believe there is any good reason to give up your freedom of choice for anything. Parents, loved ones, boyfriends, girlfriends, presidents, or nicotine. Actually, when you look at that list, nicotine should be pretty damn low.
Schools administrators are sharing that they're seeing addiction in their young people, having to use the devices on a very regular basis, having to go to the bathroom to use it again. And when you're finding yourself being pulled and controlled to go use that device, that's a sign of addiction.
I have missed moments with my kids. I have missed moments with my wife. I have missed, well, it's hard to capture or realize how many things you've missed. But I wasn't there. I was outside, killing myself with a cigarette.
This is not a toy, this is not a game. This is a drug, and it can absolutely control you.